So we are now on chapter 22, and this is called Names Revealed of the Evil Neil. It had been 11 years since I was apparently murdered, but only I knew the truth of what happened that day. Flashback. I had left Corona House on Jay saying so I could hide as I took Bia's kidnapping on my head. Jay was angry and he didn't even say goodbye as I walked onto the deserted bridge, thinking of Bunchy and her hatred for me. I didn't realize that I was being followed. Next thing I knew, I felt needles in my neck and I knew it was a vampire biting me. I tried to scream, but she was so strong that I blanked out. Next thing I remember, I waking up in the middle of the jungle and I had powers. I was no longer human. I had a mark on my arm and neck. I was now a werewolf, and it was a werewolf bite on my arm and my neck. I had that bite of a vampire. I felt stronger. I was a hybrid, a vamp wolf. Still Neil. I was thinking back to my death and changed from human to hybrid. Mom always told me hybrids aren't accepted in the supernatural world, and if they ever found a hybrid, he would be dead. And at this point, I didn't really care for that. I wanted revenge from the Righteons and that bloody Pia. Pia used Jay. She made him a fool. Why? Because she loved the Abe. I also wanted revenge on Punchy. She played me, and if she was married, I would kill her husband and her children, and then I would leave her. I would leave her alive and make her watch as I used her for pleasure. After that, I would kill her. Ha 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 ha. I was in my devious plan when I heard laughing, and I said, "Yes, T. Obviously, Neil, I am. There are my enemies before you. That Misha, she's been on my case like chewing gum on my shoe, and she stole Kabir from me. He broke up with me for her, and that Punchy, she's always been a bitch. And finally, that Pia, ugh, that pathetic Chatrika, she's stolen everything from me. She stole Kabir, then Abe, and then she stole my fashionista title, and then my popularity. I want her to suffer triple for what she made me suffer. But what's the plan, Neil? All I know is that you gathered rogue werewolves. What's next? Well, I have gathered werewolves, and without werewolves with a pack, I will have them cause mishaps. I will have them because of the mishaps with their powers. These will all be warning slowly. I will send threatening notes to them and make them panic. After a year, we will start a war between the vampires and the wolves. I still have to gather every bad rogue wolf and find every hybrid so we can have a strong army. Meanwhile, you, my sweet pea, will watch the whales making mishap with their powers because some of these rogues have a mind of their own. So if you do something like, I don't know, seduce them, make them a promise, but not seduce them, make them a promise. But one thing, if you make them a promise for sexual favors, then you have to go through with it. And if you don't, then they will rape you. And if a werewolf rapes you, then you get my point, right? T. She nodded. T. Neil warned me about not promising sexual favors for the wolves, and I was a bit thrown back when he told me that if I had to promise them these favors, and I didn't go with it, then those werewolves would violate my body. And I thought, why did he even warn me if he was a dead hybrid? Dead things like vampires and some wolves didn't have hearts or humanity, so like those legends said. So why did Neil care? I wondered for that for. Then I thought to myself, T, Neil likes you, aren't you lucky? Neil's handsome, rich, seduce him, then you said. I kept thinking of Neil and I just laughed at myself and I kept saying, T, you have never loved anyone but yourself, so how are you thinking of Neil like that? Then Neil came back and I was saying to him, so Neil, let's do something private before we start your plan for tonight. Me and you, shouldn't we have a private meeting? Was say, and then I kissed him under his ear, on his neck. He moaned, and in his hybrid speed, we were in the Corona house in his bedroom. and I changed on tonight, and then we made love for hours before we put our plan out there. So I didn't do a love part in here, but I'm not sure if we've done any love making parts in here that are in detail, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Happy reading, and this is chapter 22.